Welcome back to the channel. We're at the music garage for what hopes to be one of the last times, not because I don't enjoy it here, but because all good things must come to an end. We need to wrap this project up. And so what Greg and I are doing today is trim work, going around doing as much trim as possible. Yours truly did not bring over the interior doors. They were special ordered and they are in, which means that the two bathrooms, and actually they're all three bathrooms, those doors can't be put in, the trim can't be installed, so we will have to come back here tomorrow for sure to trim. But also what Greg's doing, let me turn you around. What Greg has been focusing on this morning is this stud here. One of the concrete anchors popped out when spray foam got sprayed behind it, so it didn't get caught. Somehow the drywaller was able to drywall over it and not see this huge hump right here. And so we cut this piece of drywall out. Greg got all the insulation cut back so that we could fit that stud in there, and that will get patched up. It's unfortunate, but good thing is the painter, he's not done yet. He's also a drywall finisher, so we'll get this taken care of. He'll patch it up and we'll be good to go. For the most part, a lot of the trims are done. So we've just got little finishes here and there to do. This is something else that's kind of been looming. It's the spiral staircase. I've never done that. We've still got this Beonstone to put up here and just a bunch of little random finishes. So I know it's been a long time coming and seems like forever for both you and Greg and I, and I'm sure my client. So hopefully we'll be wrapping this up pretty soon and you guys can get some good visuals on how this whole thing turns out very shortly. Okay. Nice. Nice. I just don't think there's a better way to do this sort of thing, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes everything nice and solid. Everything. Let's jump. A little bit glue, never hurt nobody.
I mean, have you met someone who had like how much glue when they were younger? I'm just saying, don't think glue's never hurt nobody. Be asking.
Wait, your class?
You might be asking, well, Greg, weren't you homeschooled?
Yes, I was.
Indeed, I was.
Nice. It's just like instant clean, you know? So I'm working on some jamb extensions for the doors, and we do them just like a window. I've got this smart side that I ripped down to the exact dimension. Actually, Greg ripped these down for me. Just to add a little bit of strength, I like to go ahead and put one of these GRK finishing screws in as well.
Good job, dude.
Doing my best, man. Greg, in a second, can I get your hand again? Okay, get yours where you like it. All right, I let this set up for a little bit, so now we can go ahead and look at that. It's nice because look how sturdy that is. I mean, you could never put this together in the position on the door and have everything as tight and solid as it is right now. So let's go ahead and take it over to the door and see how it goes in. Look at that, nice and tight. Greg came in front of me. I've shown this trick before, but I'll show it again actually. Put some screws here that come out of the frame and they act like shims. So you space the screw heads to the depth that you want. That way when we put this in, look at that, solid. And now it can be all nailed together. I just look at my reveals, everything looks really good. And it's really as easy as that. I love doing that because it's easy to, it's easy to not only make them, they're stronger, you can be more precise with all of your joints. When it comes time to installing, man, they just go right in, and now we got a nice jamb extension. Oh, hey Greg, what are you doing there?
Waiting for you.
Cool.
How'd it turn out?
You tell me.
Nice. I like it. I'd buy it.
That's all that matters. So I definitely could use, I need like 1/8 of an inch maybe. So I can't see the top ones to see where they're at in relation, but I can see my bottoms and those are pretty good. So my guess is it's right here. That should do it. It's nice when it goes in first time, but that doesn't always happen. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. And what this does is by using the window frame as your guide as to how far to put those screws in, it means that your reveal on the window is then perfect because you're using the window as the guide for the shim. So I love this method. It works really well. Once again, I think the easiest way to do window and door trims, build it all in a nice controlled, space where you can make sure everything is perfect and then come and install it. This gives you perfect reveals everywhere, nice tight joints, and it's just gonna look really good for your customer. So what I'm gonna do on this first door here is I've just got it setting here. I got a pretty good top reveal, which is the important part at this point. And I'm gonna take my pre-made casing and I'm gonna set it right on the door here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the casing, because especially this LP Smart Side trim, it's perfectly straight, it's rigid, so it's gonna hold this frame right where it needs to be as I start putting it on. I always like to start at the bottom, that way I already did my measurements, so I know that it's going to be accurate. This could be a lot easier if I was on a set of horses, no doubt. Okay, so once I get that, then what I can do, find center on my door. I got to make sure I say that you got to be, accurate with your measurements. So I made sure all my measurements were accurate so that I could do this. And then what I can see here is the top of my door. It's got a little bit of a bow to it. So what I'm going to do is push that down so it's a nice even reveal. And then I'm going to do the same thing down my jambs. I'm going to make sure that they're nice and even. Nice thing is this side, the hinge side, is usually pretty good because the door itself connected to the hinge is going to keep it fairly straight. But the side with the strike plate, the door, that's usually where the most work has to be done. And this one doesn't look too bad. So now that I've got that done, I can actually set this door in just like so, and the casing is going to help me maintain the perfect reveal. That's the whole goal. Let's see how we did. Okay, nice, okay. See, so now what I can do is I'll bring it back. And really all I'm concerned with is
Even reveal.
Well, I need to make sure it's plumb. It would definitely be easier if I had my laser. That's just sitting right over there, right?
It's sitting right down there.
Okay, don't worry about it. You going back down?
Yeah, I have to.
All right. You want to just toss it up?
I could.
So let's go ahead and turn. Big thanks to Greg. Big shout out, Greg. Thanks, man. Nice thing about lasers, very easy to see exactly where we want to be. So right there, reveal looks pretty darn good. The important thing is get the jamb plumb and perfect, which looks pretty darn good. Now I've got the hinge side, I got the laser on that. I'm gonna give myself a nice clean gap. So what I'm gonna do is pull out a screw in the hinge up here at the top, and I'm gonna put a GRK framing screw in. It fits in perfectly. And I don't want to over tighten it just yet. We'll check it. But look at that. But you can feel the vacuum in here, Greg.
Yeah, I see it.
Like it doesn't want to close hard. I can feel it come out. Once there's a doorknob, it'll be even more. Once I get my casing on the other side, I'll go ahead and throw some of these 16 gauge nails through the jamb just to add a little bit of rigidity, but I don't want to do that until I get the other side fastened, the trim, because I don't want it to tweak the frame of the door. So while I'm working on wrapping up some of these trims, Greg is going to start with installing this base trim, and this is for the Beonstone, and this is what's going to support the bottom edge of the stone so it can't flop around. So pretty darn easy. It's just like a reverse J channel, as you can see. It's got a little rolled hem in it that the stone is going to sit in. So we're just going to take this little piece of aluminum trim, and we snapped a line where we're going to start with it, and this is just going to get nailed right down to the bottom of our floor so that that first piece of stone can set in there. It's a cast stone, so this is concrete. It's been painted. It comes out of a cast mold. And the cool thing about this is it's got this built-in rain screen, and it's also what locks it into place. So here we've got like a fin that's going to get screwed, and then on the bottom, a tongue that's going to go in a groove. Now this first piece, I've got to cut it, so I'm going to go make this first cut, and then I'll come back. It is kind of heavy. I mean, as you would expect, it's a big piece of stone, but you can see this trim down at the bottom. It's naturally just going to sit. That tongue is going to sit right inside there, and then we're going to screw into our sheathing. So now that I got the first piece cut, I used the IQ saw, which has, you know, some fairly good dust-free properties, but it is a little bit tough when cutting material like this because it's not smooth. And all I'm going to do is just drop it into this groove of the trim. We're going to slide it over so that it's up against the wall. Just, you know, doesn't have to be super tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit these holes they've got already made here in the trim. And we're just going to go ahead and screw it. Nice thing is, a lot of times when we're using Versetta stone, we put tar paper in the background so you can't see anything. With this black built-in rain screen, it kind of does the same job as the tar paper, so we don't have to worry about it. Now you guys have definitely seen us do a lot of Versetta stone, which is a similar idea, but a totally different way. I'm not saying that this is better or Versetta is better at this point because I just started with this. I will say that they are very perfect. Sometimes I always thought the Versetta being imperfect made it look more natural versus maybe manufactured. But from an installation standpoint, this, I can already tell, is very easy. And that's what Greg and I liked the first time that we saw it when this manufacturer came out to our shop and showed us in person. And we were kind of like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Let's give it a go. Look at this. These do go in really, really nice. That one looks a little high.
They don't like to fall out, do they?
No. I mean, they do lock in nice. I probably wouldn't, you know, run this 10 feet up in the air like this, but I do have them locked in on the very end. It is pretty easy. But you know what, Greg? I don't care how easy it is. It needs to look good for my client. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You already knew that though. All right, so I've got the first couple on here and I didn't record this, but what I did was ran through my IQ saw, which is good for stone, and it cut this perfectly. See, the way that the supplier told us to fasten this top row was by drilling holes and then putting some screws in and then maybe some silicone over the screw with some sprinkled dust from your saw so that it color matched. But I just saw this. The framing that is here, this strip, is still available, and I can run my screws right through them and get good securement without having to drill through the cement product, which anytime you don't have to do that, you don't risk, putting any cracks in your material. And so now I can just as easily install these like I've been, and then I'm gonna come back through and hit the top groove. Now, obviously, this is an instance where this is only gonna happen in this exact case where I cut off about 1/2 inch. Now, if I was smart, I would have actually made this wall 1/2 inch taller or 3/4 inch taller. I don't know what happened there. That was an oversight somehow, because we did think about the fact that we were gonna put this product here. So I'm not really sure, but regardless, it worked out in our favor. Sometimes even a blind squirrel finds a nut. And in this instance, we found a good way to secure these panels without having to do a lot of extra work. I think you're smart, dude. For being homeschooled, you're pretty smart. I mean that in a positive way. All right, last piece, as long as I cut it right, shouldn't be too hard. Greg and I definitely found out we do want to probably go left to right from now on. Okay, there we go. There we go.
Booyah.
Nice. All right, let's screw this off and pretty good to go.
Wish I knew how to whistle like that. Yeah, how do you do that?
I'm built different, Greg.
No, but for real.
No, but for real. It's not that hard.
Freaking tell me, dude.
I just did. I just said it's not that hard.
Ah, yeah, it's not that hard to tell.
Go like this, man. See? Easy.
Like ah.
So when I hung this up,
Like up against the top of your teeth? Like you push it in the roof of your mouth? Or?
roof of my mouth, but in like a kind of a curl.
Okay, so like in that like little indent?
And you're blowing the air underneath your tongue. Wow, the things that we try to do on site, guys. I am super pumped. I think that our customer, John, is gonna be super pumped. I think this looks really good. We were a little bit worried about maybe the stagger joints, but Greg, I don't think I have a problem with it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, this is gonna be really cool. We've got a cap that's gonna go on here, and that will finish off the top. It'll be a little shelf, and it's just a nice accent wall. I can't wait to get this all painted in here. The painter was here today looking at things. The last thing we gotta do is wrap these columns and the spiral staircase. So stay tuned, that's coming next, and I appreciate you guys hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I think the Beonstone was easy to install. Greg, how many hours? Couple hours?
I think we started around 3, I think. Maybe just a little
Maybe like 2:30?
Maybe 2:33, just one.
2:30, 3 o'clock, and it's like 4:30. Like legit, it took me longer to cut the top row than it did to install any of it. I think it looks good. It was easy. So there you go, Beonstone. I'll throw a link down below. Give them some support. They hooked us up with some product to try it out, to share it with you guys. Help my client out a ton, because if you look around here, man, this project has really escalated to something epic. I think it's companies like Beonstone that made that possible for my client, and it was great to share with you guys. So hit that follow button if it's something you guys are interested in, the subscribe button, maybe hit the thumbs up, and we'll catch you on the next video. Wow, dude. I mean, it sounds like wind's passing through your teeth. Congrats.